Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by TheLines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer on the East Coast as always. And we are looking at player props here on a Wednesday in the NBA with a decent amount of games to choose from, coming off a decent night in that NBA Cup, a similar amount of games in that slate. Make sure to subscribe to that page, though. We're going to be coming back to you each and every weekday. Got player props, also got a best bets episode that we have up today as well. So make sure to check that out. Subscribe to that page. Give that video a like as well if you would, if you're getting anything out of what we're bringing you this season. Nate, let's go ahead and jump into your first player prop here, my boy.
Yeah, we actually swept the player props last night after kind of a rough Monday that included losing both by the hook for me, including Cat. He landed on 36 with the 36.5 points rebounds, but I'm going back to Cat here. 25.5 points over -110, and I'm actually hitting this as a little parlay 25 plus in the win for plus 130. I think the Knicks they're -5 at the Phoenix, and I don't think they're going to have much trouble beating this shorthanded team that is obviously missing Durant and Beal, but more importantly on defense, they have a center problem. They've had it for 2 years now. Yusuf Nurkic is getting worse, and he's injured, and he might only, if he goes, might only last about 14 minutes. So then are they going to go with this double big lineup again, which they tried to roll out against Orlando with the rookie Oso and Plumlee? I don't know. Are they going to bench Nurkic and go with Oso again, which they did against the Wolves over the weekend, right? And Julius Randle drops 35 with the game winner against that lineup. So that's kind of an interesting context to think about this is, Cat looked at that box score. The Knicks saw that. So if Randle goes for 35 against this very same team, we got to validate this trade, right? And that's what he's been doing all season. That's why he's been on a tear to say, people saying they won this trade. I'm Karl Anthony Towns. I'm the self-proclaimed greatest shooting big man, whatever. He obviously thinks he's better than Julius Randle, and he's proved it this season. He's been extremely consistent and very consistent in terms of the usage because Jalen Brunson, still exhausted from last year, can't necessarily take on that heavy usage. So it's been 30% usage for Cat in basically 7 straight, going over this in 5 of 7, the exception being a weird game against Embiid and the slow-paced Sixers. But overall, the average is 30.5 points, so 25.5, not too high there. Against the Suns the last few years, he's been between 24 and 26 consistently on a Wolves team that had, more options, more balance in terms of offense. The Knicks are really trotting out Brunson and Cat and then three and D guys. I mean, they're guys who don't really want high usage. They're not going to demand the ball. They're going to be fine with Karl Anthony Towns maintaining this high usage and probably eating against the team that, allows the 9th most points to centers and has all those issues that I mentioned.
Yeah, we won the trade, man. I don't care what you say. We won the trade. We'll see what the draft picks do, obviously. But, the Knicks are still going to be good. They won the trade. Cat is a better player than Julius Randle. We just all stopped. We went too far the other way. We do that sometimes. That we get caught up. And Cat wasn't playing that well alongside Rudy, but he was before that. Why would we think he's not capable of going back to what he was before Rudy came in and started bothering him with his presence in the paint and his hands right here? I hate Rudy. Anyway, moving on to the next one. I love the Cat play. Let's just keep playing that till the wheels fall off, man. And there's some Jalen Brunson under point correlation here. He's definitely been giving up some of that and diming up a ton. And it's time to take heed of that, of the assist for JB as well, in addition to the Cat scoring and the rebounding. Love that man right now. Buddy Hield. Love Buddy Hield. I love when a player is as good as him naturally and then figures it out eventually. And I love the late come around to the figuring it out. And who would have guessed that it took going to an actual organization that values him and knows how to play him and has the patience for him, like the Golden State Warriors. 14.5 points is super doable. This is heavily predicated on De'Anthony Melton being out. Buddy probably still won't start, but Steve Kerr trusts Buddy Hield. And that's why I've gone back to him now a couple times when De'Anthony Melton is out, because Steve Kerr trusts him. He has him on the floor in crunch time. He's getting clutch time when they've had it. He's someone that it's crazy because Buddy Hield was a guy that you're like, well, we can play him in quarters 1, 2, and 3. Sure ain't going to have him on the floor in quarter 4 in crunch time because he's just going to do some dumb stuff with the ball. But it's say what happens when you have the best shooter in the history of the game on your team and you're a lot less likely to do dumb stuff. So the turnovers are way down for him. That's the first part. So you can actually put him on the floor. Tonight without Melton against the Hawks team, that this is a perfect player to have, right? Like a guy that can get out into transition, actually scoring a bit more off transition right now than he is on the spot up, which is not something you would imagine. And the pull-up shot is something that he's good at, and he's been able to take pull-up threes in the past. He was at 37% last season on pull-up threes. This season, taking like 2 fewer, but actually at about 47% on the pull-up threes right now, which is an insanely awesome number. And the spot up still very good as well. I mean, he's super hot from 3. But I mean, look, so was Klay Thompson all the time when he played alongside Steph Curry. So I don't know what the problem is here. If he gets the minutes, that's what we're talking about. And also, I should mention Slow-Mo Anderson is questionable. Another guy that would be taking some minutes potentially from Buddy, even though he's playing a little bit more down low. I don't think you're going to have Slow-Mo out on Okongwu at this point. So you're going to see a lot of TJD. And if Kevon Looney is able to play, which I think he'll be able to, you'll probably see 10 to 15 minutes from him. But that's not really going to cut into Buddy too much at all. In fact, I like the fact that Slow-Mo's not out there as someone who's often in similar spots that Buddy Hield would be. But if you give him the 27, 28 minutes that he's been getting when Melton is out, averaging 28 and a half, then we're talking about him averaging 19 and a half points this season. Sorry, in 28 plus minutes, done that 7 times. Over this number in 6 of 7, except for that last game against the Clips, who are very good on defense, despite when they have Norm Powell anyway. 19.6 points per game in these situations where he's getting the 28 minutes or so. And that was the case last year, too. He averaged 28 and a half minutes last year, 14 field goal attempts. That's what he's averaging basically without Melton this year, getting over very consistently. So I like him to get the minutes tonight, which means I like him to get 15 points.
Yeah, I like it, even though I'm talking under for the game. Like, I think that this is a good spot for him because what we talk about with Dyson Daniels potentially spending some time on Curry is he's forcing the ball out of their best players' hands, the best playmakers' hands, and then you need to play Buddy more on the wing, right? As the new splash brother alongside Curry. So maybe you look at Steph assists because of that's where Atlanta's most vulnerable. But it's a good way to just take their shooting guard. And expect him to benefit from this matchup. I'm going to go with J-Dub over 33.5 PRA, which is juiced up. I think if you find a plus number for one more PRA, I think go for that because he's cruised past it in 4. He's gone over in 4 or 5 without Chet, and 3 of those have been like 42 plus. It's just like not even an issue. And it's value because like SGA is sitting there at 43.5, and these guys are really almost interchangeable when you look at the box score. Like, I'm not saying like their value is the same, but like J-Dub is getting up on that superstar level. He is a fantastic player, but it's just value in terms of the raw stats, especially when they're playing this small ball lineup. And he's going to have to be one of their most productive rebounders. So last 6 without Chet, 6.7 boards, highest rebound chance percentage on the team, 12.2 potential rebounds. Also 5.2 assists, great playmaker, also 24.5 points. He's now averaging 6 more points per game on the season without Chet, 1.5 more rebounds. Usage rate is 3% higher. And I mean, maybe your biggest concern is a blowout against Portland. But this Blazers team has woke up since Chauncey said, you guys can't, if you sleep after this 50-point loss, like you're losers. Now won 3 straight. Already moving on from Simons and Ayton. If anybody wants, to visit the yard sale there at Portland before the deadline, I'm sure those guys are going to be price tagged. But yeah, they've been feisty. I think they could be in this game. It's a back-to-back, obviously, for OKC. So that leads to a closer game potentially. And J-Dub, as a very young guy, has been actually more productive on back-to-backs last year. More rebounds, more assists, same points in fewer minutes when OKC under 30 minutes per game. And I think he's getting north of that. He's also extremely efficient on those back-to-backs and higher usage at 25% as he takes on more of a role. So love J-Dub tonight.
In a bounce-back spot after a loss to the lowly Spurs without Wemby. Nice call on Chris Paul last night. Team effort, wild how OKC lost that game. Would not have predicted it. Definitely a get right spot and one for J-Dub where he didn't really bring it as well last night. And I think this is going to be.
But had 10 boards.
10 rebounds. Oh, for sure. No, the other stuff is there. It's the points that you want him to get the 20 to get you to that spot that you feel comfortable about him getting over the PRA. And bounce back is the name of the game for him and this team tonight. I'd be a little bit worried for sure if I was Portland that I'm going to get slapped. But to your point, like they took DeAndre Ayton out not gonna lie to you, it's kind of what happened. They took DeAndre Ayton out. Shaden Sharp got healthy, so they have an offense. Shaden Sharp up here, Anthony Simons. Maybe this is it's not Anthony Simons' team. It shouldn't be. And Shaden Sharp is seemingly like the potential future right now for this squad. So he'll be the one, I believe, helping keep it close, is my point. Can I interest you in praying with me at the altar of Nikola Vucevic? What the hell? Every day that he plays basketball, I go, he can't do it again, can he? He can't shoot 42% from three again. He can't shoot 56% from the field again. Like, he can't just, but he does. He does it every game except for three this season. I'm going to go with the threes. They're still giving us plus 115. I'm going over 1.5. I haven't just blindly bet on him to hit the threes because, like I said, he's shooting like 47% from three this season. That's absurd. He just went 6 for 8 against who did they just beat? I totally just forgot. My bad. He went 6 for 8 against Brolo. Oh, the Pistons. That's right, because Jalen Duren dropped defense, so he went 6 for 8, went completely cuckoo bananas on Jalen with Jalen Duren not really coming out and stepping up to him. Well, guess who else doesn't do that against centers, and is the reason that Milwaukee in the last 3 seasons has given up the third most threes made to centers over a 3-season span here with the same core guys. Only dude missing from 3 years ago is obviously Drew Holiday, and now Chris Middleton, because he doesn't play basketball anymore apparently. But not important, because what's important is that Brolo is guarding Vooch, and Brolo you would have to shove him up to the 3-point line before he'll stop playing his drop defense. There was a time last year with the former coach, I'm already forgetting, former Seton Hall guy, Adrian Griffin. Thank you. Adrian Griffin, before Doc Rivers got there, was like, we're not going to play that drop D anymore. And Brook Lopez was like, the hell we aren't. Like 3 games later, he called a team meeting and was like, we're playing drop D again. And Adrian Griffin was like, all right, well, I'm going to lose my job in a few weeks anyway. But for Vooch coming in against Brolo, now it's going to be that drop D. 6 of 8 last game. He's over in 6. I'm sorry, he was 4 for 9 last game against them earlier this season from 3. 6 for 8 that he's gone over in the last 8 games, hitting at least 2 threes in those times against Brolo, dating back 3 seasons ago, like I said. And that's been the case for him this season as well. He's averaging about 5. I don't love for him to make 2 on 5, but I'm getting plus 115. I think he's going to take 6 to 7. So that's when I start to like him to hit 2, right? Because he's averaging 5, not taking it that much when he's playing more athletic centers, like when he was up against Chet and the like, right? Like guys that can actually get out and guard him. Yeah, I don't want to mess with that. But when he's playing against the big bumbling, stumbling dudes who don't want to come out from their cave inside the paint, then I'm going to take it. It's just that simple. I don't need to give you any more. He's on fire. This is the matchup for him. So we're going to take him for 2 threes plus 115, baby.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, the way the Bulls are playing, like he's been able to establish what he does well so much better, including being a passer. Like I would also look at the 22.5 points and assists, the way they're just going to be going up and down the floor, running and gunning. 239 total. The Bucks defense still not very good in the backcourt. There's going to be plenty of opportunities for him to just kick it out for other people to hit threes as well. But yeah, his 3-point rate is up 30% to 30% here on the year. His assist rate 15.5%. And I think both should thrive based on the defense he's facing.
He's playing well. He's playing very, very well. We also both are into the idea of probably both the guards doing their thing for Zach LaVine and Kobe White. Probably I prefer Kobe White just because that's kind of what I liked last time the Rockets played this team and they lost, but like 50 shots combined between FVV and Jalen Green. Probably going to be a similar case here against Milwaukee. Once again, you're going to have a lot more success scoring from the outside and with your guards, although Vooch been doing it from everywhere. But that's all the time we have for you in Play of Props today. Looking for another sweep after a great night on Tuesday with these Play of Props. Continue to follow along, subscribe to the page, and check out the best bets video we have up alongside this one each and every weekday. And until we see you next, happy betting.